Life is what you make of it. And if you can make your bed and lay in it peacefully, you have brought your heaven on earth. You didn't go to a heaven, but of course, internally, you are your heaven. And of course, you can be your hell internally, and you can be your hell externally. 10 times out of 10, heaven and hell is the same place. So of course, it's just all about the space and the vibration that you're in. And if you're in the right space, the right frequency, the right horizons, you'll be able to rise. But if you constrain and of course restricted with certain habitations or exhibitions, this is what's tracking you. This is what's stopping you. And of course, the only person that can stop you is you. And of course, don't point fingers. You got to take action. You got to take proper precautions. And of course, depending on how long you was in constraint or hell or hardship, even when you was young, this can play out and of course bring extreme pain. But of course, you got to be willing to fight. You got to be willing to basically make the sacrifices to basically get to the areas and the arenas where you're at. And of course, them subways can get crowded. Them trains can get crowded. But of course, you got to still have your mind focused and of course penetrate it towards what you're trying to basically bring heaven on earth. Because of course, this world, there's distractions, and of course, this matrix, and of course, this point of view and reference can basically trap your mentality. And of course, once your mentality gets trapped and trapped, you can't basically get out of it. So that means you got to replenish. You got to learn how to let certain things go. And of course, once you learn how to let things go, you'll be able to actually flow. And of course, when things is flowing and moving, and of course you're screwing, then of course life is perfect. And of course you screwing life and life ain't screwing you. And of course you're not biting the covers, but of course you're making life bite the covers for you. And of course you bringing yourself into a situation where you can basically find your solitude. And solitude is peace, revenue. And of course you need your peace, your inner peace. And without your inner peace, and of course you won't be able to actually fulfill or basically be in the right streaks or the right hemisphere. You won't have that momentum. And of course, you need that momentum. And of course, you got to get out of bed. You got to be ready. You got to be determined. Of course, you got to be strong. You got to be dedicated. You got to be focused. Of course, if your focus loses, then of course, you lose in the totality. And of course, getting your mind back into that hardship can basically put you into detriments. And of course, you got to learn how to basically exit your body and see yourself on the outside looking in. And of course, this is how you can basically dictate and determine what's going on inside of you. And of course, once you go inside of you, ain't no thing or no person, place, or things can basically tell you anything. But of course, there's always open eyes, open minds, and awareness. But of course, being aware is highly important. It's one thing to be in something, but if you're not aware of it, and of course, you don't know how to do your 360 around it, then of course, this will basically stagnate you. And life is a 360. So if you stagnated right now, you got to question yourself and look in the mirror. And of course, you got to put yourself into a situation and say, how can I detach from this stagnation? Of course, everything starts with you. So take the steps and make